a guy that knows a little something about going down to the swamp, ready to join us. I'm going to let you bring our guest in here.
All right.
We'll add him to the mix.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Coach. What's going on?
It's good. Doing soccer this morning. Got all my grandchildren here. If you hear a herd of kids coming through, just ignore it. So.
Okay, no worries. Well, thanks for joining.
How are you guys?
We're good this morning, Coach. We're good. We've just been talking a little football. For everybody watching, you know the face. This is College Hall of Fame coach PHILLIP Fulmer, national champ, University of Tennessee coach, and my head ball coach.
My claim to fame is I had Rico.
Yeah, right. So, Coach, we're not going to keep you long. I know you're down there with the family, and we're going to let you get back and enjoy them. We just got a couple questions to run by you. You can share some thoughts with us. I'll kick it off, Coach. I know you've heard all about the NIL, the name, image, likeness for players. And what are your thoughts? What do you think about it? The game's changed a lot, right?
Well, the game has stayed the same, but all the recruiting and things around the athletes has changed everything. I think obviously what we're doing here right now, the social media world, and how it's connected athletes to the athletes and the athletes to the donors and to the public and all those kinds of things. You know what? We could sit here and talk all day about what might be the negative of name, image, and likeness, but the fact that Congress says, or the Supreme Court says, it's the law, and so there's no reason to talk about it. You just got to figure out how to best manage it, that it doesn't necessarily become completely a recruiting inducement at each particular school, and we know that's going to be a really hard job, and how to best help the athletes along the way, and the universities. The universities, I hope, don't really have to take a bullet in this. You know, that they're competing against the athletes for dollars. They need to be able to work together and help a lot more than 3, 4, or 5 people on a team. You know,
Yes, sir.
That would be my goal, that it has some sort of trickle down effect to the teams, and then all the departments in the building. There's 550 something athletes at UT, and that doesn't mean that 10 of them need to make $1 million a year and everybody else nothing. You know, because if all weren't participating, it wouldn't be that interesting of a sport anyway. So that's what I think. Let's find out.
I agree with you, Coach. I first off, I want to say thanks for coming on, and Coach, I'm a huge fan. I always, growing up here in Knoxville, I loved cheering for your teams and loved having you as my coach for a long time. In fact, I sat next to you on a plane one time, and it was probably the highlight of my life, Coach. I got you. You signed my picture here for me and talked to me the whole flight. I knew you probably wanted to take a nap, but you talked to me the whole time, so I always remember that. And piggybacking off of that, you know, NIL changes, they're also giving some new rules with the transfers. And obviously the kids now are allowed to transfer at least once with no restrictions. And sometimes, you know, we've got this portal where, you know, it's kind of like free agency in the NFL. What are your thoughts on, you know, all the new transfer rules going on?
Well, you know, maybe some with COVID, there needed to be some adjustment there to allow kids to, you know, have another year, be closer to home, whatever it might be. But I think that hits home when you invest all those dollars and time in recruiting a young man, and he doesn't have to fight through being second team, you know, or as a freshman, and when he thought, you know. Sometimes it's even the parents, you know, it's not the kid. Well, I've invested all this in camps and clinics and quarterback camps and as you've grown up and you're not playing yet. Well, you know what? A lot of people don't freshman and sophomore. And now, if it's beneficial to both the athlete and the university, then that's a different story. And maybe if it's late in your career, that's a different story. But this, like you said, free agency, and don't think that people aren't recruiting, maybe not directly, but indirectly through the high school coach or donors or whatever like that, and influencing young people. I don't like that. I don't like the portal at all. There is a time and place to transfer if it's not working, but early on, fight through it, and grow up a little bit, right? That's what I would say.
Definitely forced to grow up through that process. I agree.
One of the things about NIL too, you asked about that first, is a NCAA really dropped the ball. I mean, on getting out in front of this, they didn't do nearly enough to keep us from getting to a place that equitable to everybody. This thing has a chance for the rich to get richer, and the 40, 50, 60 teams that they're up in their own conferences or controlled organization. If we're not really, really careful about that.
I can see that create more of a divide. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's tough because you got to, a lot of these kids now, they feel like they should be on the field, and if they're not, they got the ability to transfer. It's kind of holding these coaches. It's making it a lot more difficult, in my opinion, because we had an incident yesterday where in the Ohio State game, a kid quit the team at halftime because he wasn't getting to play. Yep. And now with all these options in the portal, you can you can leave and go somewhere else and not be have to sit out a year. And I think we may see more of that, unfortunately.
In fact, giving them participation trophies when they're little, What are we doing, right? If you finish last, you'll be getting a trophy, My opinion. That doesn't necessarily have to be everybody's opinion. The other thing about the portal, and it goes both ways too, because you could say, I'm not right where I need to be at linebacker or something like that, or we've had a couple of injuries. I can go fill a spot. So
true.
It's not just the kids. It's all had a couple of injuries. Coach, I can go. There's a ton of those kids that go into the portal that don't ever go anywhere. They don't. There's only so many scholarships out there, so they better stay where they are unless they're sure they got something.
Coach, you made a good point with that. It's not talked about enough. They see these big name athletes go into the portal, and they're going to find a home, but there's 75 or 120 kids behind them who don't get picked up. They don't get offered a home, and they burn bridges where they're at. So that's another thing. It's creating a problem that way too, though. I can see that.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm wondering what's going to happen if I'm a college coach and I got a chance to go recruit kids that already have been through 2-a-days and camp, and they know what the weight room's supposed to be like. A couple of years older than a high school kid. Which one am I going to do? How much is this going to affect high school recruiting? And it's really going to be interesting to see if they don't correct it. Now, I do believe they will correct that eventually.
I can see it happening soon. Well, my last question for you, Coach, is it's about the way you recruited while you were at UT. It's just something I was thinking about when you agreed to come on the show. And I was telling Nate about it. You brought guys from all over the country in and placed them at the University of Tennessee. I mean, you went to Oregon for our quarterback. You came and got me from DC. You go to California and get your offensive lineman. What was your thought process? Literally just to go get the best athletes, or if you see them, go get them, or what? Most people don't do that, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. People and athletes. We people in our program, and you really, I'm not blowing smoke just at you, but guys like you, made a difference. And Tennessee had a great program, a great facility, great history of going a lot of places to recruit. We're on the Eastern Seaboard, between New York and Miami. We made, in-state area. We counted Western North Carolina and the state of Kentucky and North Georgia, North Alabama, upper state South Carolina. We counted those as in-state areas. They were close enough for us to treat that as an in-state. And then we would find guys like you, that were mature enough, and the parents were okay if they chose to come to, an out-of-state school or far away school for a better opportunity. And we did. We had great success in doing that. And once we got a couple, the best salesmen were our team, our teammates.
For sure.
Because we did it the right way. We didn't pay people to come or do anything like that. But we had a great track record for getting guys on the NFL in the league and winning a lot of football games. And it sold itself for a long time there to get it to do it like we've done it. And I think Tennessee. I mean, you think we're a Southern school, don't you? You came from D.C. and you're looking at us.
Yeah,
guys in Georgia and Alabama, Louisiana, they from Northern school.
Okay. Right.
And I told the staff when I took over, we're going to have our gear in the Atlanta, and the Dallas, LaGuardia, and Chicago. They're going to sell our stuff in those department stores in the airport. We're going to. I was looking at it was Miami, Penn State, Notre Dame stuff. Tennessee's going to be going to be there, and we did it. We became the cool place to come. And I like Josh. I heard you talking a little bit before I came on. I like Josh, and I love our administration where we are right now at UT. So we got a real chance to get that, I believe.
Yeah. And Coach, you got to be, we'll let you get out of here. I know you got family there, but I just wanted to piggyback off of that. We got Rico here who's doing a great job on this show and coaching now. And I saw you up in Canton, seeing another one of your players getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And, you got a lot of guys that are all over the place now, coaching, playing, working a professional life. You got to be proud of these guys that you made into great players and into great men. Just talk about some of your guys that have gone on.
I'm really proud of that legacy. And it wasn't just me, it was our staff. We did almost everything together as a staff. We stayed together for a long time, and that was a big positive for us. We didn't have to go into recruiting areas and introduce ourselves every year and that sort of thing. So I'm proud. Unfortunately, we lost one of our great ones in Paris Harrelson. Yeah. I was at the funeral yesterday down in Madison, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And, we dealt with that, but also got to be around a whole lot of his classmates and teammates that came to the funeral. And it was amazing how respected he was, coming from Mississippi to play at Tennessee. And Jason Allen, who's also a first rounder, came from North Alabama. He was there. Turk McBride was from New Jersey. He was there, and on and on. So you just build these relationships over a period of time, and the kids don't want to leave, unless you just can't, then you're honest with them. You sit down and say, I know you came here to play, but it just hadn't worked out for you, and you're going to be maybe second team the whole time you're here. How can I help you? And parents, but now you don't have that back and forth, I think, as much. Some schools do, I'm sure, and I think Josh is, like I said, just doing a great job. But to answer your question, I'm very proud of the legacy that we left there, and hopefully we'll get back to winning like that, and also recruiting play. Well, they go together. You got to recruit players, and then you can win like that.
No doubt.
But Nate, that's the reason I went to Tennessee, though, man. Coach Fulmer came to my house, and John Chavis and Coach Slade recruited me. And when you have a solid foundation, you respect people being honest with you, right? And I had a bunch of other schools that offered me and would tell me, hey, come in, do this, do that. And the only thing Chief said was, we got a great system here. You know, if you work hard and you get out on that field, you can chase an NFL dream. You'll be a starter. You'll be a player. But it wasn't, hey, Rico, come here. You'll be my starting weak side linebacker. Because that's not the truth. You know, it's still a job. You still got to put the best players on the field. And I respected that. He never said, Rico, come down here and be my starting weak side backer. He said, you're going to have a heck of an opportunity here. You'll get a chance to wear the orange, to run through the T, and I'll put you in the best position to be successful. And that's what hardworking guys want, just that opportunity and great structure. And I'd say it all worked out for me. So I appreciate you, Coach.
Hey, I love you, and I appreciate you.
Hey, you too, Coach.
Buddy.
All right.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you. We love you, Coach.
Tell the fam I said hello.
I'll do it. They're all right out here. I sure will. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Take it easy, Coach. We love you, man. Thank you. Wow.
The old ball coach over there.
I don't even know what to say, man. I really don't. I got to be honest, man. That guy right there was one of my heroes when I was growing up. You know, I grew up. My family's from up north, but we moved to Tennessee when I was young, and you know, I was born a Buckeye, but I became a fan of this team because of Coach Fulmer and what he brought to college football. I mean, he was not only a great coach, but he was a really classy guy and a really good man, and you know, somebody that I could look up to, and somebody that you know, you could respect. Mm-hmm. And I still respect him, and I think you know, college football would be better if there was more guys like him still coaching, and more guys like him around. And there's some great coaches out there, but that guy right there is a great man.
Oh, no question about it, man. A great person. He was a great ambassador of the university. I mean, shoot, even if you were running for office or anything like that, just look at his press conferences. Look at the way he talks, the way he handles it. So, and he ran his program the same way. He was a legit guy, a great role model for guys that came through the program, and just an all-around stand-up dude.
Yeah, and he, you know, you can tell, you know, I can tell just being an outsider, the way he talks to you and the way, you know, he was looking at you. He cares about his guys. You know, he cared about these kids, and I think that's why he had so much success. You know, not only coaching but recruiting, was that the kids can tell, man. Parents can tell. You know, now I'm a parent. I can tell when people have my daughter's best interest. For sure. You know, you can read people, and you know, you could tell he's proud of you, and he's proud of his guys, and you could tell too that you know, losing Paris like that, you know, that hurt him, and he's just a great guy that loved his players and still loves his players to this day. Oh yeah, that was a big loss for the Vols, but also for, you know, anybody that's ever met P. And Paris Harrelson was a great dude. He was a senior my freshman year. Was he?
And man, he was just a good dude. You know, you meet guys who just mean well for anybody they run into, and he wasn't a jealous guy. He wasn't malicious with anything. He wanted best for everybody. And dang, he was taken too soon for sure. I remember we got out our first practice, and we were all going back into the training room. I'm dog tired. You know, I wasn't used to no big time college practices and stuff like that. He was like, he didn't even know my name at the time. He was just like, how that heat treating you, DC? and look, I'm bald now, but P was bald in college. And I was like, man, who is this old dude? And listen, he just bald head senior. He was a beast at defensive end for us, and he was a hard worker and a great leader. And shoot, he'll be missed for sure.
Yeah, man, I've not ever heard anyone say a bad thing about that guy. He just he was a dog on the field. He was a winner too, man. They won. He won at Tennessee when he was here. He won when he was in San Francisco and was a great player. And then he won a Super Bowl, I believe, with the Saints and helped them to a world championship. So this is a guy that was a great dude and a great player and will be missed. And I'm glad we got to talk about him a little bit today. And the coach brought him up because, man, 37 years old. We all need to take a minute and just think about it. Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, and it's really sad for him and his family with him passing on. But great talking to Coach. I'm really glad he came on the show. I loved his answers. I agree with everything he says, man. This game, me and you love this game. You've been around it your whole life. I've been around it my whole life. And the only thing that bothers me is some of these things can ruin it. If every year there's different, this is what I was thinking. I took a great example of this. I was thinking about it while Coach was talking is the quarterback from right down the road here at Knoxville Catholic, Chase Cunningham, kind of an undersized kid, wasn't the starter to begin the season. When in 2015, when we won the state championship, it was 17, but he got inserted into the role and never gave it up and led the team to a state title. And then he signed late to go to MTSU and has basically been a backup his whole career, but he never transferred. He never quit. He never gave up, and he kept fighting. And he was my player of the week because he got
that line. Give the listeners the stat line.
Yeah, he got his first start on Friday actually, and they were playing Charlotte, and this kid lit it up. 376 yards, 5 touchdowns, ran for almost 80 yards. Chase had a great game, and they ended up losing by 3 points. But this is what, I guarantee you, he'd tell you he wouldn't do it any other way. He stuck in there, and he waited his turn, and he finally got his chance Friday, and he lit it up. So
good job, Chase. Way to go. Knox Catholic.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, and I was going to have him come on the show, but they've got meetings on Sundays. So I told him maybe we'd tape an interview with him when he had time and play it for our listeners and our watchers so that he could tell us what it was like getting his first start.
Man, that'd be awesome. We'd love to have him.
So anyway, pretty crazy day of college football yesterday. As we touched on, Clemson went down, Minnesota went down to BG. There was some big upsets. I loved watching the Buckeye game yesterday. Some people don't like blowouts and they want to see a close game every time. Nate Schmidt, Knoxville Nate, is not one of those guys. I want to see us win by 50. And so yesterday was perfect for me. The first quarter drove me nuts because we were losing at 7-0, and then it was 7-7. But after that, we started rolling and got a lot of, as I was mentioning earlier in the show, we finally got an opportunity to let some of these young kids play and get some experience. So I think that was huge, and I'm excited to see what happens next week. We're gonna take another week of college football here and see what's up. I'm gonna try and come see you guys on Saturday. I'm gonna be up in Ohio next week, and I think you guys got Central State next week.
Well, let me know. I got some tickets for you.
All right, man. I'm gonna try and come down. I'm gonna be up in Toledo on Friday, and I'm gonna drive down 75 and come see your boys and help cheer you on.
Shoot, let me know. Shoot, Mike can get you up. I can get you up top with your press pass.
All right, man. I got my credentials from Friday night. I went. I took a little road trip for our show, Man Coverage, and went and watched the leading rusher in the nation, Deshaun Bishop, who plays down the road here at Carnes High School. And let me tell you what, man, this kid is the real deal. And I got a chance to talk to him after the game, and I got an interview for us, and I put it up on the site. Everybody go check it out.
Is he a senior this year?
No. He is a junior. So
he was doing that last year as a sophomore in Knoxville.
Yep.
Listen, I was reading about him last year.
Yeah. Okay. He's got in the first 5 games he ran for 1,500 yards, averaged 293.4 yards a game, had 13 touchdowns, and then on Friday he had 5 more touchdowns and ran for over 200. So this kid's the real deal. And
as good as advertised, right?
He was good as advertised. I had to go see it for myself, man. I mean, people can tell me I'm a show me guy. Yeah. You can tell me how great you are. You can tell me you can bench 355, but till I see you take the bar and put it like that, I don't believe you.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
I had to go check it out, and he was legit, man. He's a good kid too. He was very respectful to an old dog like me. He called me sir, and I felt old, but he was very respectful and a really good kid. And I wish the best for him because he's legit.
Awesome.
All right. Well, great interview with Coach. I appreciate you sharing some of your experiences with him, Rico, and having him join us and talk with us today. That was he's one of my heroes. So getting a chance to talk to him it made my day for sure. I know.
Oh man, way to start a Sunday, right?
That's right. Well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you real soon, and everybody send the link out so everybody can check that interview with Coach. Yeah. I think we had a little trouble on Twitter for some reason. I was checking it. It didn't look like it broadcasted on there. So I'll upload it as soon as we get done here so we can share it out across the world and get everybody to hear that and hear what Coach had to say.
That's huge. All right, Nate, take care of yourself.
All right, buddy. Be good. Right. And I'll talk to you real soon, all right?
All right, Robert. You take it easy.
All right, buddy. See you, Robert. Thank you for listening, and thanks to all our listeners for tuning in. Join us next Sunday at 11 a.m. right here.